I served President Reagan for 8 years, and I remember, believe it or not, we forget, but a very similar debate in the United States in the 1980s. There were a lot of people who were against rollback, meaning Reagan's policy of confronting the Soviet Union, bankrupting the Soviet Union, and ending the Soviet Empire. The State Department, where I served, some State Department official took out the line, evil empire, from Reagan's speech. And it was put back in by the political office of the White House. That was in 1983. In 1987, the State Department took out the line, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And Reagan himself, in the car, on the way to the wall, put it back in. Those are just illustrations of the fact that there are always people who are concerned about, genuinely concerned about confrontation. But I think that the Western democracies tolerated the Soviet occupation of Eastern Europe for way too long. We've tolerated the occupation and the dictatorship of Cuba for way too long, and it has intervened, according to Castro himself when he was alive, he says he intervened, he supported what he called wars of national liberation in every country in Latin America. He said, with the exception of Mexico. He was lying because he was in Mexico when he said that. So he, of course, couldn't admit that he had also intervened in Mexico, and we know he did. Why did we tolerate that? Why didn't we draw a line much earlier? Actually, we did, and there were people who said, no, let's not do that. It's not necessary. It's not important. It's just a little island in the Caribbean. Well, actually, until the Soviets decided to put intermediate range nuclear missiles in there in 1962, it almost brought the world to an end. There are times when you just have to say, it may be a small country, it may be a poor country, as Venezuela unfortunately is today, but we do have to draw a line, not the way that Obama drew the line in Syria, by the way. If we draw a line, it should not be erased.